Hello, 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 my friends. Welcome to the Oh My Goodness podcast. We are diving back into the glossary today. I am excited. Part of today is I am procrastinating, working on my accounting, which I will do afterwards. But I was like, you know what sounds fun? Diving back into this. So we are. Welcome to the goodness. Okay, so we're heading, we're skipping D and E. I'm sure there's words, but I don't know them yet. Flow is our next one. This is kind of my catch-all word for divine, spirit, goodness, deities, things like that. I think of spirit and the energy that spirit moves with as a flow, that you can feel the flow, you can find the flow. What is reality? Like, how is reality moving? And like, can you find the flow of that? Right? Like, sometimes we're trying to be like, but it shouldn't be like that. You're kind of going upstream of the flow. It is like that. So then, how do you want to swim accordingly? Right? There's a flow to all things, there's a flow of your life. What is happening? How do you want to navigate that? Because sometimes we're getting like bashed against rocks or things like that. But Clarissa Pinkola Estes, she writes about the river beneath the river in her book, Women Who Run with Wolves, and outside of that as well. But something about that just struck me of like, yes, of course, the river beneath the river. Does it make sense? No, but it makes sense. And and so it's like, are we tapping into the flow of where we've been called, of what's next, of our growing to do? And I think it just makes sense. And so when I talk about the flow, it's like, okay, are we tapped in? Are we feeling the flow? Because it's also the energy flow, right? Is there a page break in our flow? And this also goes to chakras, right? Like when we're doing chakra clearings or things, which I do on occasion during energy work, it just depends on the person, what's needed in our call and our time together. But if you kind of go through, right? If you check your chakras, you'll notice that some things are stuck and some things are flowing smoothly. So this is also is your energy flowing? What's your energy flowing through your body like? Can you feel the flow all throughout, from your head to your toes, to your pinky toe, to your fingers, to your palms of your hands, to the back of your head? Because sometimes we have these blank spots that we're not even realizing. And it's like they're not registering because there's no flow or energy there, or the energy is stuck. So this is kind of a catch-all term of both the flow of all things and what is the flow in your body. Yes, yes. Okay, next, HALTOS. So previously, this has been HALTO, which I got from HALT, which is from my 12-step program. And it stands for hungry, angry, lonely, tired. But I was like, overwhelm is my issue. When I get overwhelmed, I would reach for a coping mechanism, right? And and then my friends who struggle with chronic illness, they're like, yeah, but like I might be sick. And I was like, yeah, but I'm not sick that much. And they're like, no, like chronic illness sick. Like it might not be because I'm not taking care of me. It might be because I have a flare up. It might be because, um, my muscles just aren't working that day. And I was like, that's a really good point. So now it's haltos or shalto, whatever you like. But haltos is kind of fun to say. The idea with this is that this is your question you ask yourself when you're feeling off, when you're feeling squirrely, when you're like, what if we just didn't? What if we just, or when you're getting a little corn cob holdery, remember from our last call, that's when you're just like, um, and so I like to make myself a cheat sheet. And so there's, I think, podcast episode 3, 4 is Halto. And I make myself, you can go back and listen to that because this is just going to be a quick version of it. But hungry, angry, lonely, tired, overwhelmed, sick. And then across the top, 0 to 5 minutes, 5 to 15 minutes, 15 to 30, 30 to an hour plus, half hour, or like 3 hours or more. What can I do to address any of those if I'm feeling that, right? So if I'm feeling itchy, if I'm feeling exhausted, and I'm just like, oh, I can't believe, but if I just find myself not feeling like me, I notice and I'm like, ooh, AJ, what are we feeling? And then I'm like, oh, I'm feeling exhausted. I'm feeling overwhelmed and I'm feeling really tired. Okay, cool. Then I'm like, how much time do I have before my next thing? Sometimes I only have 15 minutes, right? On like Wednesdays and Thursdays, I have 30 minutes between my calls. Like it's back to back. And so if I have a 30-minute window, I'm like, okay, let me go get a granola bar or let me just go outside, drink some water, be outside away from my screen. Cause sometimes I'll just catch up with stuff in between, but it's like, if I'm feeling exhausted or overwhelmed, okay, if I'm feeling tired, let me go outside, sit on the grass for 5 minutes or listen to a meditation. I've got like what are those? What do you call this? It's a mat. It looks like this. Let me grab it. If you're on the video, you can see. It's got what's it called? Oh, that's not even a real word. Vina, AJNV up A. I guess that's another A. I don't know. But it's like an acupressure mat. And so just laying on that for 10 minutes resets my nervous system. So there's little things like that that I'll do that I'm like, okay, I feel good, right? If I'm hungry, I've only got 5 minutes. I'm going to go grab a granola bar. If I got an hour, I'm going to make myself some food. Does that make sense? If I've got 15 minutes, I'm going to have some toast with some peanut butter on it or take a couple bites of leftovers. When we hit 3 out of these 6, we're usually getting a little itchy. We're getting a little like bitey, maybe our comments, or we're just feeling on edge. 4 is when we've already probably said something we regret. Like we've already maybe done something. We've already reached for a coping mechanism. We're just like really over it. 4, we need to like wrap things up and start just acknowledging and switching our plans for the day of like, okay, I actually need to go take care of myself, or I need to go adjust, or I need to change my plans for the day. I need to go home. I need to just or something, right? And some people are like, that's such a, I've heard this before, which is why I'm addressing it. Some people are like, that's such a privilege to be able to be like, I'm going to go home or things like that. Sometimes it's not doable, right? That's why we have our cheat sheet of like, hey, if you've got 15 minutes, what can you do? Because sometimes you can't call it a night, but sometimes you're like, hey, my friend, I know we were going to go out drinking and dancing tonight. Could we have a movie night instead? Or, hey, I was going to make dinner. I do not have capacity. I'm going to pick something up, or we're going to have an easier dinner. Or does that make sense? Like there's levels to harm reduction, as it were, that you can utilize if you don't have a lot of time, or if you've got kids, if there's other people that need you for things, that you can still take care of yourself and prioritize, but you can't do that if you don't know, which is why we ask ourselves, hey, am I haltos? It's not a judgment. It's just a thing. And also this isn't like, I never get halto. I'm so great. It's like, this is a human experience of existing in bodies that get tired, that get overwhelmed, that get hungry, get lonely, get tired. So when that happens, you can be like, oh, okay, I need some more sleep tonight. Okay, let me make sure I get to bed before midnight tonight, so tomorrow I can have a better day because I'm feeling the impact of me staying up till 2 a.m. It's not a judgment. It's just, what do I need in this moment? If you hit 5 out of 6, you need to go fuck sleep. You need to turn that ship around. I don't care what you got going on. You need to not, because then we're really making some choices. We're really probably saying things that we shouldn't. And if you're at 5 out of 6, people will understand. Bare minimum, you should be like, hey, I am really struggling right now. I need some space. I need a minute. I need this. We're going to watch a movie. We're ordering pizza, whatever it is. But most of the time, theoretically, right, you should be around people that if you're like, I am absolutely at my limit and we are about to burn this whole house down, I need a minute. They'll be like, yeah, okay, sounds good, right? Or you can be like, okay, kids, we're putting on your favorite brain rot show or something, so you can go have 5 minutes in the bathroom to breathe. 5 out of 6 is danger zone, because then a lot of things come out. That's when we get close, or we do chandelier, right? It's like somebody does something. It's like the straw that breaks the camel's back and you just lose your shit. And then later you're like, why did I do that? It's because you were beyond your max capacity. 5 out of 6 is like, we are maxed out. We are, please don't touch me. Do not cross go. Do not collect $200. Okay. That's also it. Haltos. If you want more, go check out the podcast episode about it. And if you're like, what is this glossary situation? If you didn't listen to the last one, I made this for Absurdist Delight, which was our coaching program I made this summer, which has been so much fun. We're in the middle of it now, of 2026, depending on when you're listening to this. And it's been so much fun. But as I was teaching, as we were going into things, people were like, wait, what's inner critic? What's this word? What's a maraca? Wait, or they know what a maraca means. They just didn't know my reference for it. They're like, why do you keep saying potato? And I was like, oh, okay, okay. So this is a glossary to AJ speak, essentially. So you know what I'm saying. But I was also thinking, hey, this might be really helpful for the podcast for when you're listening to understand, hey, here's my reference points for some things, right? Okay. And also, if you're doing one-on-one work for me and with me, and you're just like, wait, hold on, you can come here and be like, oh, okay, okay, I get it, I got it. Okay, next one, inner critic. This is the loud voice in your head that sounds like an asshole that you're calling your inner voice, but it's not. It's not your inner truth. It's a little protective part doing its hardest and damnedest to keep you safe in the best way it knows how. And like, um, this can show up in a few different ways, right? Because we have our inner critic, which I think is just kind of like the loud, kind of straightforward, aggressive one that's like, you can't do this because blah, blah, blah. But when you get into more nuance, I named my inner critic Barbara or Brenda, which you heard in the last podcast. There's a whole deeper dive that you can listen on podcast episode 5 about inner critic. But this essentially believes lies as truths, or it takes different stories or moments from your life and is like, you can't do this because then everybody hates you or everybody leaves or everybody, blah. And it makes it's like you against the world, you against people. And what I want you to remember here is your intuition. Oh, that's funny. I don't even have intuition on here because I think people know that. Maybe I'll talk about, let me type it in. 2 seconds. Oh, I can't edit because I'm in my different Google. Is that your inner critic is never here for your highest good. It's here for its perception of safety. Okay. And I think this is really important to think about, because when we have a perception of safety, it doesn't mean we're actually safe. It just means this is how we have stayed alive thus far. And so obviously that is the only answer moving forward. That is the perception that your inner critic is taking. It's taking all of these stories and all these things. But your work right now, if you're listening to this, is you're like, hey, some of this isn't serving me, and I would like to show up differently. Maybe this voice in my head isn't me. Maybe it's a little tiny protective part trying to keep me safe, right? I think of them as preschoolers in adult clothes. And sometimes they can be very dangerous. Like keeping you from trying new things, keeping you from trying art, keeping you from speaking up, right? So long story short, go listen to episode 5 if you want more. If it's loud and fast, it's usually shame. Or if it's loud, it's usually shame. If it's fast, it's usually fear. If it's like the focused on other people and like jumping to conclusions, it's lies we believe about ourselves, or expectations we have about other people's expectations of us. So like, if we do this, then other people are going to do that. And then they're going to need us. And then we don't have enough time to do that. Like, it's like a whole spiral, right? And then the one you really got to be careful for is it's the smooth, slippery one. And it's like, you could do that if you weren't a piece of shit and you weren't terrible and everybody hated you. And you're like, oh my God, what is that? Those are lies we believe about ourselves, right? Those are core heart wounds. If you swipe all of that, you get to your actual intuition, your actual knowing spirit. That's quiet, small voice. It's like, yeah, that was hard. Here's our next right thing. So it's your work to start stifling. And it's a process. It's a practice. Okay. So if you're like, this is so hard. Yep. Yes. Yes, it is. It takes a minute. It takes a minute. But the more you're able to get distance and be like, oh, that's not me. That's not my soul that's speaking out, that's being mean to me. That's just a protective inner part. Then you can make some distance, be like, okay, thanks for speaking out. I understand how you think that would make me safe. Okay, but we're gonna try it. We're being brave today. We're trying something new. Okay. So we'll dive in all into that into episode 5. Intuition. Let's chat about that real quick. This is a bigger conversation. I think it's podcast episode 6, 7. Don't quote me on that. But you can go back and it says intuition. This is our knowing, our intuition, our gut, our sense of something, right? You have a sense of no and yes and maybe. And if you're like, I don't sense anything, you do. Have you ever got a nudge? Or okay, let me fast forward. Have you ever done something and then later you're like, I knew I shouldn't have done that? How did you know? How did you know you shouldn't have done that? When? When did you know? Even if you bypassed it, that's not the point. The point is that later you were like, I knew I shouldn't have done that. How did you know you shouldn't have done that? What did that feel like in your body? What was that felt sense like? Maybe it was in your gut. Maybe it was like a voice in your head. Maybe it felt like a tingle up your back. That's your like, don't, no. Right. And we have varying degrees of no, of like, I don't think so versus like, no, right? Sometimes our body like hard reacts. Then we also have our yes, if somebody's like, hey, AJ, do you want good enchiladas right now with a hint of lime chips and mango salsa? I'm like, yes. Do you want a paid trip to Denver? Yes. Like there's these different things that make your body light up. Do you want to go dancing with? Yes. Um, and then there's also these subtle things like, ooh, that sounds inviting, or like, oh, and it's almost like Sour Patch Kids, like your mouth waters a little bit. So you have different nuanced levels of your intuition that you can hear and listen to, but it's like a radio station, right? It's a frequency that you tune into, and it's a practice. I know your favorite phrase, right? Oh, I know. I know. So listening to our intuition is a practice, and a lot of people are like, no, you can't think that, or blah, blah, blah. So this is also a stripping away of other people's voices and stories, and that's why it's important to identify your inner critic, because I think getting that away helps to identify your intuition more clearly and more cleanly. Does that make sense? Because sometimes people are like, my intuition's a bitch, and that's how I'm like, that's not your intuition, right? Can spirit be sassy? Oh my God, yes. But spirit is usually like, hey, I am here at your back. Like I am ready to rumble. And sometimes people need a little extra like push out the door because they like put in a request, right? Hey, spirit, here's what I would like. Here, hey, universe, I would love this. And the universe is like, great, I love this order form. Have you done XYZ to be ready for it? And they're like, no, you can just bring it to me. And then spirit's like, you can't hold this if I give this to you now. You need to cultivate these skills, right? Like boundaries, vulnerability. If you're going to meet your partner or a job or have an opportunity of like having your art take over, but then you're not actually sharing your art. You're not actually going out on any dates. You're not actually getting out of the house. Do you see how like spirit needs a correlation of you showing up and taking action? And so, yes, spirit can be sassy, right? Like, I can have a sense of humor, but spirit is never cruel. Spirit is never mean. Spirit is never vindictive in my experience, right? Different people have different experiences, but in 5 years and in my life, God, spirit, universe is always there saying, I'm here. I'm ready. Are you? Like, are you ready to play? Are you ready to make something neat? That's the God, that's the spirit, that's the flow that I believe in and that I've seen show up for people, right? And also another part of this is that spirit takes the form of whatever you have capacity for. So if you're like, hey, I can have love right now, then love will show up. Liz Gilbert talks about this and I loved it. And it was really helpful for me when I was deconstructing is like, it's like, hey, I can talk to Holy Spirit and Jesus, but I cannot talk to Father God right now. Like I can't. And then Goddess showed up, right? And Hestia showed up and Nick showed up. And I was just like, I don't think I'm allowed to you guys, but they showed up in ways that I needed. And now it kind of all just feels like these are facets of spirit and flow in different ways of what people can meet. But atheists, pagans, Christians, I have seen spirit show up across the board for people in ways that they have capacity for. And it's really cool every time. And I'm always amazed at how it shows up and the different nuances of it. So I love it. So intuition is a practice. It's something you can cultivate. It's something you have a radio. It's just a matter of like learning how to use it, if that makes sense. I'm going to turn on my fan because it's getting toasty. Okay. It's all exponential. I thought about if I should make this one or not, but I think it's helpful because so often we want there to be a before and after, right? Like I did a call and then after I feel like this. And we can have exponential moments. We can have quantum leaps. We can have breakthroughs. We can have like, oh, new facets of understanding, right? There's been so many times I've had a call with somebody and they've said something. I'm like, that changes that for me. Okay, now I understand. Like we can have new expansive moments. And when we're looking at the arc of our life and how our work is going and our soul work and how we're growing, it's a long game. We're playing the long game. And so many people, especially with TikTok and social media and all the stuff, and I'm on it. So this isn't me slamming it. It's just noticing the difference is people want things to happen in such short time. But when we're doing this work, it takes a minute, right? And sometimes some parts of our journey take short times and we get the change just like that. And then other times it's months or years. But think about it. If you've been living one way for 30 years, it's going to take more than 1 hour to change habits and patterns. And if you can look at it that way and not like, why isn't this happening right away? Then you're going to be way less frustrated with yourself and be like, oh yeah, it's a what? Practice. Exactly. Okay. Here's what I wrote. The work comes in little pieces. It's all little shifts. It's all these little tools as we start practicing and playing with, they get easier and they become second nature, but it feels clunky at first. The more you learn them and integrate and practice them, the more they become just a part of your personality. And then it starts building and rolling, kind of snowballing, and it's all exponential. Ask any of my one-on-one clients or anyone who's been in my world for a few years, like it builds on each other. Side note, I'm thinking about having some of my past one-on-one clients to come in and like talk about this exact same thing because I think it'd be really fascinating. But it's kind of like when you're struggling, trust that the little growth, the little shifts, it's going to be exponential because it's your foundation of what you're building on. So maybe not this week or this month, but it's all counting, right? And especially I see this when people are like, they make some growth and then they like come back and it's kind of like rubber banding, but also it's your capacity realigning. It's like, okay, we get to our edges of our comfort zone. And then we're like, oh my God, that's a lot. And then we come back and then we're like, okay, but I didn't die. Okay, let me expand a little bit more. Okay, a little bit more. Oh my God, I didn't die. Oh, okay. Now you're existing comfortably at what previously was the edges of your comfort zone, right? And then you're like, okay, do you think I could go a little further? You know, it's like a Ocean's 11. You think we need one more? You think we need one more? Okay, we'll get one more. It's like that. And so if you can trust that the little shifts, and I have this all of the time in my map making calls when we do radiant soul support or we do spacious soul support, is that people come in and they give me all their goals and they're like, I love a big audacious goal. I love it. I'm here for it. I love me a SMART goal. And what I have found, and this is different people to people, right? But in my work, I have found that if we start small, like, yes, here's your goal, I see it. And what are our foundation pieces that we need? If you're like, I want to start going to the gym 5 days a week, but you're going to the gym 0 days a week right now, your new habit is not going to be 5 days a week. Your new habit is going to be like, hey, can we move our bodies 3 times a week or once a day for 10 minutes? I don't know. But once a day can feel like a lot if you're doing it no days a week. So 3 times a week is great because if you're like, I forgot, then what happens is people are like, I blew the wagon and I suck and I never should have done. And it's like, no, don't spiral. Don't spiral. It's all information. It's all information. It's all exponential and it's all information. So what happens is if we can start moving our bodies just 3 days a week, like going for a walk, we're like, oh, I like this. Okay. And your body's like, oh, it's safe to move my body. It's safe to, and then it's like, okay, maybe I'll go on longer walks, or hey, maybe occasionally I'll go for a jog, or okay, maybe I'll look up dance classes. Like there's this growth that happens when you take it softly and kindly and you go at the pace of your nervous system and you find your edges and you try it out and then you come back to comfort and you like calibrate and be like, okay, I can do that. Okay. Because all of that then becomes your baseline to build off of, right? So if you're like, I want to write a book and I also want to do this and I want to do this. Okay, what's our baseline that we got to work on? Okay, have we started the book? No? Okay, start writing 30 minutes a day. My book, I wrote it in 6 months in 30 minutes a day, Monday through Friday. That's it. That's my first draft. And then we got into editing. But my first 60,000 words, Monday through Friday, 30 minutes a day. Then I had 60,000 words. Okay. That little growth turned into a whole book, which then turned into lead. But if I hadn't set aside those 30 minutes a day, I wouldn't have later been able to edit for 2 hours or work on a book, whatever, because I didn't have that practice underneath me. If I would have been like, I have to work for 2 hours a day, every day on my book, I'd be like, no, different people are different. But for me and my clients, it's something I notice a lot that like, if we can do these little shifts, they all add up, right? If you double a penny. Okay. We're going to move on. Okay. Maraca moment. These are, where's my maraca? I don't know if you can hear that. I have these tiny maracas that you can see it on video and I love them so much. I didn't grow up with maracas, so I don't know why my obsession, but I love things that make sound. Like I have my bracelets. I don't know if you can hear this. And like, I think for the last 6 years, I've been saying that like you get a maraca moment and it's this celebration. And it's like things that are marvelous. And I ship people maracas and I have little buttons that say like maraca moment. And it's just a celebration of like, you did the thing. This is great. I deserve a maraca moment. Like celebration. We don't often celebrate the small things or honor the small things. And so it's this little way of highlighting and cementing like, hey, I made progress. Hey, this is good. This is worthy. This is a shake moment of like, yeah, celebration. And so even if it doesn't feel like a big deal, we still have a maraca moment. We shake our maracas for anything because it's all exponential. It's all information and it all counts. So that's a maraca moment. That's maracas. And If you're on any of my group calls, sometimes you'll see other people on the calls with maracas, which I honestly think is the coolest thing ever. And at some point, I'm gonna get some maracas and maybe like rhinestone them out, put some fringe on them. I don't know. It's on the list. Will it happen? Yes. Today? No. Okay. Next part, messy middle. This is the not fun part. And so often it's fun to say, I'm going to start learning energetics, or I'm going to start listening to my intuition, or I'm going to start building a small business, or whatever the dream is, right? So what happens is when we do that, the universe is like, great, cool, I love it. Here's the things you need to learn to do it. And then you have to learn the things. Learning can be hard. Remember when you were learning to walk or brush your teeth or learn how to draw or anything, like your J's and your G's, right? When you're doing your stuff, like it's hard to learn sometimes. Sometimes things come easy, sometimes they take a minute. It is okay to feel overwhelmed or exhausted or curious or frustrated or whatever. But your job is to trust the process and to stay with the work, to just keep going. If you need to clean out a closet, the first step is taking everything out of the closet and putting it on the bed, and everything looks messy and all over the place. But you have to do that to sort through the stuff. You can also just go one thing out of the closet at a time, right? Like that's totally doable as well. But like the messy middle is a part of it. You don't just have a before and after without the messy middle. Think about the 30 minutes of programming in the HGTV makeover shows, right? Like they're tearing down walls and they're pulling up carpet and they're installing electrical. Somebody gets shocked, right? Somebody's like, oh, I got to paint this, and their paint clothes get messy. It's the messy middle. It's part of it. So often we have these before and afters that don't actually highlight the years of work that go into it, right? Or people pop off on social media and people are like, oh my gosh, they're an overnight sensation. And they're like, I've been in this business for 10 years. Like I've been running my business for almost 15 years, right? I guess January will be 15 years, which is wild. And it started as Mermaid Harmony, and then I added fairy, being a fairy, and then I added henna and red tents, and then retreats and one-on-one work, and then speaking, and then I wrote my book. But there's been big, messy middles in the middle of it of learning and changing my name from Mermaid Harmony to the Enjoy Productions, and now to the Joy Weaver. I mean, that was a huge messy middle of letting go of my mermaid identity. And I mean, I still have my mermaid tail, but I don't do parties anymore. And that was messy. But that messy middle helps us rearrange, helps us be like, okay, what's actually important to me? What's my priorities here? What am I moving forward? What am I letting go of? Right. And when we're taking on new skills or new things, we have to let go of what we did before. But also, those are coping mechanisms. Those are how we talk to people. That's how we talk to ourselves. That's how we stayed safe. That's how we belonged. And so it's kind of scary sometimes to be like, hey, I always was safe before, quote unquote, safe, right? Had the perception of safety when I never spoke up for myself and never advocated for myself and just went with the flow. But now I'm a resentful panda. So I'm trying to learn to speak up for myself. And that's very scary. Yeah, of course it is. That's your messy middle is okay. Can we learn to stay with ourselves as we start practicing speaking up, right? And it doesn't mean like right away, you're like, okay, here's what I want, here's what I don't want. It's like when people are like, hey, where do you want to go for dinner? Instead of saying, I don't know, you start saying, I'd really like either Mexican food or Greek. What do y'all think? And that can feel so edgy and so big, right? The messy middle is where our nervous system is calibrating to where we're going and where we're at. And your growing capacity for the both and. That's usually what this is you are learning to hold the like, oh, the itchy and the like, oh, yeah. We just want the, ooh, yeah, but you can't have the, ooh, yeah, without the like, oh, no, is both. Remember the Hulk. We feel it all. Okay. Okay. I think I'm going to do one more and then, okay, I'm going to do two more parts. So often you'll hear me talk about parts like, hey, this is a little part, ba-da-da. So I got this from the book No Bad Parts by Richard C. Schwartz. If you've heard of internal family systems, this is based off of that. This is also based off of my work with somatic experiencing that I have participated in. I've not been formally trained in either of these, but I have received work from it. And it's also how I see the energy within our bodies and how it's contained and how it expresses itself as these little parts and pieces. Parts is just it's just a good word. It's just, there's a little piece of us. There's a little part of us, right? I think of them as like preschoolers and adult clothes. And what it needs from us is to be loved on and just us bringing more of us back home to ourselves. So this is like those parts that we don't want to say out loud, or the things that we're like, for example, you're at a party and so many people are just like, I don't know what I think. I think so many different things. Well, it's because you got a lot of parts, a lot of parts. So let's say you're at a party and one part of you is like, oh my gosh, this is going to be amazing. I'm going to meet so many people. This is going to be fantastic. I cannot wait. Another part is like, get me home immediately. I'm exhausted. I am tired. There are too many people here. Another part is like, okay, do I look good? Am I okay? Like, I don't even know. Do I belong here? Can I belong here? What should I say? Like, and another part is like, oh my gosh, I just said the wrong thing. Like, what was I even thinking? Like, we can have all of these moving pieces. And another part is like, all of this is stupid. Burn it all down. All of that can be happening at the same point because it's not big soul you. It's just little parts like 15-year-old you and 16-year-old you and 5-year-old you and 2-year-old you that are all just trying to keep you safe in the best way they know how, but they're not your big soul. They're not you. So your job is to be in the driver's seat and being like, oh, I'm feeling nervous. It's okay. Like letting your body know, hey, I'm okay. We're here. We're going to be here for 2 hours. Then we're going to go home. We're okay. You're letting your nervous system know that you are in your body. You're okay. And here's how I'm showing up. Yeah, it's okay. I'm holding the both hand. This is a little edgy and exciting. It reminds me honestly of when I went to Men for Magic back in April, and there's like red bottom ladies. Like there's some big business owners there that I was like, what have I gotten myself into? Who do I think I am? Like when I tell you I was half spiraling when we were getting ready for VIP night and I'd already seen some ladies and I was like, I mean, they had like blowouts, like they were looking nice with two eyes. And I like went up to my room and I was like, oh no, I was just like, and I had brought my glitter. I had brought like my red lipstick, my like hip scarves, my like mermaid shoes, my rainbow caftan. Like I just brought my clothes that make me feel good and also are business dressy. And they've got like little black dress. And I was just like, oh my God, what do I do? And so my roommate and I, Desiree, who I'll have her on the podcast, and she's a parent coach, and then she's also a hypnotherapist. She's awesome. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna say the quiet part out loud. I'm really nervous about it. She's like, what's going on? I was like, well, I kind of wanted to wear my glitter, but then I don't want to be too much. And like, what are they gonna think? And she's like, too much for who? And I'm like, the people. And she's like, what people? And I'm like, the normal humans. And she's like, girl, there's no normal humans here. These are all extra people. And she's like, but also like the people who don't want the extraness, you are a walking invitation to take up space. And also like you're not their person and that's okay, but show up fully as you. Bring your whole self to that room. She's like, everybody else will be. So you bring also your whole self. And I was like, so yes, put on my glitter. She's like, fuck yeah, put on your glitter. And I was like, okay. And so I put on my glitter and I put on my rainbow caftan and I was just like, ooh, because it was like a resort wear night. And I walked in and I held my head up high and I had a blast. And I got to talk to like 6, 7, 8-figure business owners. Like we were just chatting and talking about life and joy and play. And everybody's like, oh my God, where'd you get your glitter? And I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't bring it downstairs with me. So I was like, tomorrow morning, come find me. That conference. But there was a part of me that was like, I am so stupid for wearing glitter. This is the dumbest thing ever. I need to be serious. I need to be like, I don't even own a black dress. I was like, I should have bought a black dress. I should have brought serious heels. Like, why is my hair blue? My hair should be blonde. It should be long. Like, who do I think I am being sparkly? And this is so stupid. And I run a business on, like, there was a part of me that was freaking out. And I say that because I think sometimes, and the feedback I get is people are like, you never get nervous. Oh my God. I get so nervous sometimes. The idea, remember, we're the Hulk, we're holding both hand, is that 51% minimum is me being like, we got this. Okay. I know. I'm nervous. It's okay. I'm going to be okay. Here's my game plan. Is addressing the nerves of saying, maybe some people won't like it, but I love it. It makes me feel like me. And maybe that'll help me find my people, right? I'm not telling all those parts to just shut up. I'm saying, yeah, I am nervous. I let myself speak it out loud so somebody could speak truth back to me. And then that part was like, okay, we'll wear the glitter, but I'm nervous. I'm like, that's okay to be nervous. That's okay. We're going to have a good night. And then that whole conference, y'all, when I tell you, I glittered about a third of that conference. There's 200 people. I glittered people who spoke on stage. It was awesome. And so now when I go to events that I'm nervous about, or I'm like, oh, what do? I wear my glitter. I put glitter on my fucking face. And last night we went to a fundraiser. I got invited by my friend Angel. And we went to a fundraiser and I put glitter on my face. And I was like, oh, I mean, I already had glitter on my face from the day, but I put on more glitter. And then I was like, should I bring it? Should I not? Like put it in my purse? And I was like, you know what? Glitter is a great icebreaker. And then if anybody comments, I can be like, hey, would you like some face glitter? So I put some in my purse and I put some cards in. And then people were like, oh, I love your face glitter. I was like, thank you so much. Would you like something? They're like, yes. And so we glittered like half the staff and a bunch of attendees, and we handed out a lot of cards. And it was just amazing. And by the end of the night, we were twirling, we were laughing, we were tearing up that dance floor. We got free cake to take home. People were delighted. They were like, y'all are like fairies. And we're like, actually, we are fairies. So it was just this fun thing. But I say all that to say that your parts are just trying to keep you safe, right? The idea is not that we're always grounded or we're always zen. It's that we can flow with it and see them as the little preschool parts that they are trying to keep us safe and be like, oh, thank you so much for your opinion. I appreciate you. I got it. No worries. I got the map. It's okay. I know this is so big. I got you. What do you need from me? And it's like, okay, we got a game plan for XYZ. Yep. I know. If I need to leave early, I can leave early. That's okay. Yeah. Makes sense. Makes sense. Okay. Last one for today. This is potato. I honestly have no idea where this came from. My mom referenced my grandpa the other day when I was talking about it. And she's like, I think this is because of him, because he had a potato gun. But for me, potato is kind of like a stand in for anything. It's got good consonants. Um, but specifically, this kind of feels like when I'm feeling a specific type of way, like a cozy potato day is when I don't really want to talk to anybody. I don't want to do anything. So like read my book in my comfortable clothes by myself on my couch. Like a feisty potato day or spicy potato day is when I want to be comfortable and cozy and be by myself, but I gotta go interact with humans and I'm not really in the mood. But I'm just like, could we, like, I don't know, it's just like I feel just a little off, but I'm like, okay, I just want to be cozy, but like we're doing the thing, that's great. So I just feel kind of like a little feisty potato. Or I have to go do things. A sparkly potato is when you're in a good mood and you also kind of want to be at home reading a book. So you're just like a happy little potato and everything is good. And you're also just like chill, happy mood. Are sweatshirts coming? Yes, they are. Will they be coming in 2026? I have no idea. Do I want them to be? Yes. Have I tried for the last 2 years multiple times to get sweatshirts made? Yes. When it is meant to be, it is meant to be, but I have a vision. I have a vision someday and it'll be great. It'll be great. So that is your glossary for today. I think we went F through B, and then we'll go through the rest of the alphabet another time. Let me know if there's anything I missed, if there's anything that strikes you about it that you're like, oh, I love this one, or I want to use these words, use this language. I saw somebody about a year ago, somebody in our kind of coaching sphere, she used a cozy potato in an email. And I was like, oh, yeah, that was me. That was me. And I just got so excited because it's like spreading, right? Now other coaches have maraca moments or they have maracas, that I've shipped them or different things or that they've bought. And my clients have them or are using them for their clients or their people, even if they're not even coaches. They're like some artisans and they'll use it for their friends or they put it in their purse. And it's just, I think so often we forget about the ripples that we can have and the power of words, right? And sometimes people will be like, that's not a real word. That's not a real phrase. Y'all make up the words you need. Use the words you need for what you need. It's okay. Like, embrace your joy, embrace your delight. Like, life is short and y'all, just tear it up. Go enjoy. The world is wild. Be a little wild too. Enjoy it all. And yeah, I'm excited for this podcast. I'm excited for the things that are coming down the line. And I just, what a gift. What a gift this podcast is. What a gift you are. Go eat your cake, your carrots, drink your water, take your shower, take care of yourself, and like go share your joy today. Go do something that brings you joy and tag me in a photo, share it, send it. I don't know, whatever you do, but just allow yourself to take up some space without apology. Or I don't know, take up space and apologize while you're working on taking up space without apology, right? Because it's a practice. If this episode resonated with you or you liked it, please share, tag a friend, send it to a friend, post it on your stories, tag me. And I'm always happy to hype you up and love on you. Sing your soul song, my friends. Have a great day.